this gray thing growing on the back. Oh god damn. What's going on, my planting people? I'm Lithius, this is Roots Ready, and in today's video we are going to be looking at my 5 top plants for the month of August. All of these plants have been doing some bits and pieces. Some of them, 3 of them to be exact, have been on quite the journey where I thought I was going to lose them, and they have bounced back higher, better and stronger. So let's talk about them. Now, the first plant I want to introduce you to is this bad boy right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my Anthurium Delta Force. Oh my goodness, this thing I got as a little tiny baby. I think this was one of the first leaves that this plant had when I first got it, and look at it now. I know that this was a tissue cultured plant, so the chances of this plant looking exactly like the mother plant are, you know, close to 100%. So I was really looking forward to the plant finally producing its iconic lobes. And when I first got it, it looked like a pretty standard Anthurium. You know, a lot of my forgetii start off like this with quite the round love heart kind of shaped lobe, until they then mature and go into their full mature state with no lobe. And I knew that this one would be kind of the same situation as well, where it would start off like quite a generic looking Anthurium until it morphs into its final beauty standard. And we are finally here. As you can see, the first couple of leaves, very standard. Even this one, where I thought by now it would probably start to show its classic traits, it didn't quite show up. But then this new leaf came in, and look at that. It's that flat edge at the top. And I think after this leaf, it's going to look a lot more and more and more like your standard Anthurium Delta Force. But this is like the first foray into that, the first insights into what this plant is going to look like. And how exciting is that? This new leaf is just wonderful, hasn't got a blemish on it. It's looking really, really great. The other ones do, however. You can see he's got these dark spots, but I think it's because I have this thing in a very small pot. It's a very sort of moss and tree fern fiber sort of dense thing. You can see it's actually pushing out on the side, so I think the plant needs a repot. You can see it's bulging on the side here, so I am going to do that today. I've got a little bit of soil mix. I'll throw in some tree fern fiber, a little bit of moss, and I'll upsize this today so that the leaves to come can, you know, hold on to their sort of their beauty, and it doesn't sort of start to go downhill a bit like this. I don't think this is a cause for concern at all. The plant is still very healthy. I think it just needs a bit more soil, a bit more substrate. It needs to spread its roots out so you can really enjoy that and grow properly. The first plant on this list today is the Anthurium Delta Force. Wow. Next up on this list is this plant. This is a plant you haven't seen for a long time. Well, unless you've watched my recent houseplant tour video, you probably haven't seen this plant for a good few months, if not like over a year or something. This, ladies and gentlemen, is my Philodendron Plowmanii. I had this plant alongside my Philodendron gloriosum, and I had them in my long pots because these are both crawling philodendrons, and I had both of these plants growing in leca. I haven't used a pure leca mix in a long time, and probably since this plant I haven't actually used it. The plants were both doing really, really well, and then all of a sudden they both started to decline at the same time. So I had to go in and do an emergency bit of work on this, and I chopped all of the plants because it was quite a long, like the stem of the plant was probably about this long, so we're talking about a foot maybe thereabout, and quite thick, and it had massive leaves on it. And sadly, the plant started to decline, so I had to chop it up and make several propagations. I have a couple more propagations in here, but they're a bit slower. But this one was the first one that sort of decided, you know what, I'm here and I'm ready to fight. So I took it out of my grow tent and I placed it out here. I think there are 2 cuttings in here. Yep, there was this cutting, so these leaves here. So these 3 leaves, that's 1 cutting. Including this one as well. And then these 2 little ones over here, that's another cutting. So there's 2 cuttings in here, and they are doing really, really well. So I'm really, really happy with that. And, you know, it's not a plant that I've given a lot of love to, because since it sort of declined, I've had it in just little, like literally sandwich bags. And that's it. So I haven't had a chance to really enjoy this plant. So now that I've moved it out, I can finally start to enjoy it again. And look at that, just absolutely like pristine leaves. I love the silveryness on these leaves, especially as they start to grow. It develops more silveryness and it just looks like a real stunner. When you have this thing, like when I had it before and it was really doing well, it had these massive, huge, love heart shaped leaves, really pillowy. They were amazing. They really look good. So I can't wait to get this thing back to its former glory. But as I said, there's a couple more cut-ins, so this plant may just feature on another favorites video very soon. But yes, the Philodendron Plowmanii, I mean, what a stunner. Next up is just a little itty bitty thing. This is a plant that I have tried to grow more times than I can remember. I think at this point, this is like my 5th attempt or something at this plant. It doesn't look like much. It doesn't, right? It just looks like, well, at the moment it's just a single leaf that isn't even looking that great because it's got that brown edge over here. But this is none other than my Cyrtosperma Johnstonii. Is it Cyrtosperma or Cyrtosperma? Whatever it is. It's a really strange plant, and that's why I really like it. It's a really weird plant. This plant also goes by another name. It's called the Alocasia blackjack, but I don't think it's a true alocasia. But its scientific name is Cyrtosperma Johnstonii, and it's an absolute stunner. Now this plant, it grows very quickly, and it grows these massive leaves with these pointy lobes, and it almost grows upside down. So where you'd expect the lobes to point upwards, as most plants do. So look at this. You can see on this Philodendron Plowmanii that the lobes are pointing up. This plant, it first originally starts to grow upwards like that, and then it just kind of flips upside down, and then the 2 lobes are pointing down and up. But another really interesting thing about this plant is that the stems develop these really spiky texture. Honestly, if you were to just go in and grab it, you'd probably hurt yourself. This plant is something that lives in a really swampy environment. So they want to be in that constant moisture. I would even argue and say that this thing can probably be quite a good aquarium plant. You can probably just plant it in your aquarium and it will do just fine. But in my experience, this is the journey that I go on with this plant. It grows super well in the summer. Just amazing. Like, it thrives and it grows really quickly and it sizes up amazingly. I mean, I've had this plant, it grew like probably above 1 meter tall. Like, and these leaves can get massive. I think in a while they can get to like 4 feet long. Like, they get absolutely huge. So I was able to get this thing to grow really quickly. Had it growing in pond because I assumed, you know, we're gonna have the reservoir. It's gonna be access to constant moisture. But what happens, this plant loves its heat. And in the winter, I cannot provide the amount of heat that this plant requires. And then it just dies. It just completely just goes downhill and melts away and it dies. So I've tried again. This time, not with an established plant. I've tried it for a little small cutting to see how far I can get it to go. For the first time, I'm actually growing it in a soil-based substrate as opposed to pond. And I'm hoping that that will probably help me a little bit because I have seen some people growing this thing just as a regular house plant without, you know, that really dense and really moist substrate. So I'm going to give that a go, and in the winter I'm going to see how I go and try to adapt my watering so it's not sitting in a pot of water as it is now, and then hopefully it just doesn't get that cold shock. So I've put it in here just because we finally have a new leaf. I've had this thing propagating for quite a while and it finally just popped out this new leaf, and hopefully it just continues with this trajectory and just keeps throwing out new leaves. I cannot wait. The Cyrtosperma Johnstonii. Listen, watch this space. This is going to be an incredible transformation. When I recently came back from holiday, this plant, it gave me a bit of a shock. I was in a little bit of a panic, but I'm glad to say that it has bounced back. And that was none other than my Anthurium Peltigerum. Look at it now. Now this thing, when I got back from holiday, it was in my grow tent and I think it lost about like 3 leaves, one after the other. Like literally, it was every day another leaf would just fall off. Now this thing, yes, had grown kind of huge leaves like this, and they were just falling off. Like these were even the latest leaf fell off the plant and another one would fall, and I was like, I need to do something different about this. I did notice that on the plant it had quite like this gray thing growing on the back. Oh god damn, there's a Ooh. Oh my God, that was scary. All right, so there's a grasshopper on that. Okay, I'm not like scared of the grasshopper, but it was like really close to my face and it just really freaked me out. Hang on, I'm gonna get rid of it because, geez, that really freaked me out. Oh my days. Oh, get out, mate, get out. Woo. All right, that could have gone south. I could have dropped the plant. Let me just make sure there's nothing else on here that's gonna jump out at me. All right, so the Peltigerum came back from holiday and it clearly had some sort of fungal infection thing going on because in the grow tent, although I have fans running 24/7, it probably just wasn't enough circulation for this plant. So I think the higher humidity just meant that it sort of settled and it wasn't really happy. So it was losing leaves. And I took a risk and I said, you know what, I'm going to bring the plant out into a lower humidity environment, but obviously a lot more air circulation because it's in an open space. And that seemed to work. The plant, firstly, didn't die. It didn't start to decline, which was really, really good. It just maintained these 2 leaves. And I was thinking, you know what, it's probably going to take a while before it starts to produce any new leaves. But I was wrong. It started to produce a leaf. And here it is. This is the latest leaf on this plant. It certainly isn't as big as the other leaves. Of course, it needs to adapt to the new lower humidity environment. The light is slightly different. It's not directly under a grow light 24/7 or, you know, what I think I've got mine on for maybe about 8 hours a day. It's got natural sunlight and the sunlight sort of fades after 11 because it's east facing. When the sun goes over around 12, 11-ish, it doesn't have any direct light, but that didn't seem to bother the plant at all because look at it now. It is definitely a shorter petiole. It's not as long as the others. I think this plant is going to do just fine. I can already see at the base as well, it looks like there's a bit of swelling. So it may have a leaf or 2 before the year is over. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. The Anthurium Peltigerum is back with a bang. And naturally, you save the best for last. And there's nothing better than my Philodendron Spiritus Sancti. Look at this thing. This thing is now just sprawling everywhere. Oh my days. Oh my goodness, look at this thing. Now, the last time I showed this plant in the favorites video, this was the latest leaf, and what a gorgeous leaf it is. Ah, look at it, it's just incredible. But I must admit, soon after I showed you this video, the plant decided to throw out another one. It's not even fully hardened off yet, so we probably have like a centimeter or 2 of growth left. Unfortunately, it did bang its head. It banged its head on the light. Like it was sprawling underneath one of the grow shelf things over here, and it sort of got caught, and I didn't really realize. So it has a little bit of a bruise, but it's all right. It's all right. I'll forgive it because look at this thing. It's so lovely. And I think, oh, before you know it, we are gonna have another leaf coming out here. This thing is growing so rapidly. I'm excited. I am excited. I think I am gonna need to repot this thing. So I may just need to get a larger terracotta pot. I don't want to put it into a plastic pot. I could do, I think it'll be okay. But I just, for safety, for my peace of mind, I want to get it into another terracotta pot. So I am gonna look for something, maybe, I might even double the pot size just because I've got roots growing up here in this, you know, makeshift plant extension pot thing that I've got going on here. So I might just put it into something a little bit bigger, or certainly definitely a little bit taller, and then just leave it. I won't go any taller than that and just let it grow and be happy. But yes, this is it. This is the Spiritus Sancti doing its thing. Ah, it's just so lovely. Look at that leaf. Ah, yes. So those are my top 5 plants for the month. I was really keen on just sort of blowing the trumpet on some of these plants that, you know, took a little bit of a while to get started, but now they're seeming to do really, really well. So I just wanted to celebrate those as well. It's probably a metaphor in there for life. Just let me know what you think in the comments below. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep planting.